Okay, so Danny Gamble, this will be tape two, probably video when I do. The other one's quite long. If I hadn't said I wouldn't edit it all, I might have cut out some of it. Anyhow, tape two. This one's going to be in regards to the actual meeting itself and how it was held, and obvious things that I don't know. Maybe well, actually, probably really good for because of the bomb that it was. That it was a bomb, guys. If you're not admitting that, then there's a problem right there. Um, you should, have a group meeting, get together, and watch it, and then hit pause and dissect different parts of it, and question some of your formats. I could see the actor's trying really hard to keep it online, and did a good job most of it. But even there, I have to admit there was times when, give an example, and this is fresh in my mind. That's why I'm doing this because I watched this morning, and now it's I don't know 9 or 10 at night. So it's been half a day since, but it's not that long. So it's fairly fresh, which is why I want to do it. The example of the strictness on the one question when sometimes you need a first question to lead into what you want to say. So you might be like, like for me, if I'd come there, my question was a simple one, and it would have almost involved a little bit of a trap. But that's not the problem. The problem is why I would. Well, let me just do it then. What's okay? So I walk up there to ask a question, and I'm like, okay, well, okay, all you committee members, you know, um, I'm here today, and it would probably be a good thing if I plan to vote for one of you, so after you do your talks and that. So a show of hands, how many, who here would like me to cast a vote today, and and hopefully in your own favor, depending on what you say. And that would be the trap, because I'm pretty certain that most, if not all, would, if they weren't playing along at all, would put their hands up and say, well, yeah, no, of course we'd like you to cast a vote. I mean, that's what we want. We want the union members to cast a vote. That's what we're saying. That's the problem. People don't come here and don't cast votes, and then they complain. And then my trap would be, well, I would have loved to as well, guys, but I'm actually not allowed to cast a vote. So I'm not sure who you're speaking to when you're trying to run for this committee, but it isn't the general membership. It's a select membership that you have to impress. It's not a union, guys, when it's only certain people making decisions that everyone has to live with. And when the group can't choose themselves who those people are because of your segregation policy. And segregation is wrong. Remember, black and white, that was wrong, right? Women and men, men's club, no, bathrooms, every time there's been segregation around the world, we all say, oh, that's just wrong, we can't have that. And yet you're structured in this modern era in Canada, in BC, which is supposed to be the more liberal kind of attitude, and even Canada, like Toronto's a little more known as being a little stauncher and stricter than we are, and dress codes more than us and stuff like that. And here you guys are structuring it in such a way that it's gonna raise eyebrows. It's gonna have people going, well, that's not fair. That's not, if you take my money, then I'm a member. If I'm a member, then I should have membership rights, and it shouldn't be little rights compared to other people's rights. Member, united we stand, divided we fall. You're not united, and we're not standing as a group. We're standing on different terraces. Different terraces. That one works pretty good. All right, I'm off track a little bit here. So, so the meeting, the lady that had lots to say, and actually I really liked. Personally, I really liked what she spoke. Cause, and this is not the Vranos, I don't know her, but just because there was one that spoke a lot throughout and constantly grabbed the mic, and even when it wasn't her turn to answer a question, she second answered it. But it was nice to hear her because she was very, intelligent and knew what she was talking about. So of course, it was nice to hear that knowledge coming out. That said, with the strict ruling on time limits, you know, she was one of the worst, where she was speaking for a guy that wasn't there because he was on the island for, you know, a show or whatever. And it sounds like an interesting character. You know, it was a good resume she read off. But I guarantee you, if you time that one, that one's going to be like 5 or 6, and you're not going to once hear. I heard a little grumbling maybe from that in the background, but I didn't hear the, you know, that's your time. I didn't hear the 30-second warning that definitely heard with other people. So I mean, again, if you're not consistent, then you know you got these rules. You're really being a little. Actually, I think the rules were a little too strict. You know, like if a person wasn't abusive, I think they should have been allowed to express it well without having that last minute kind of interrupt their thoughts where they were going, what they were saying. As if you notice most of them when you watch it, or 5-10 seconds before they gather themselves again and try to finish off. So maybe just don't throw the 30-second thing and just tell them when their time's up. Then hopefully they wind up really quick. If not, then you know, second reminder should be enough. Yeah, and then maybe a little more just like uh, personally, I can't express myself just like, you know, that super 1 second clarity, because it's not how I talk. Like, I want to ask the question of the people I'm speaking to lead into, you know, I might be like, well, what if you thought of doing this way? Have you considered that? And then they may say, well, yes, we have considered. No, we've never considered. Maybe we will. Like, sometimes it takes a little bit more to massage the thought. That's the important thing. It's not the school. That's your question. This is your answer. That's it. Because that sounds like you're walling in in people, which isn't good. Now I know you can say, well, you can run off of time too much then, but if some people talk a little more, some people talk a little less, so some of that will work itself out. You know, I mean, a couple of people stood up there and said, well, that there's nothing for me to add. That was said perfectly to what I would have said, so I'm not gonna, you know, try to snow you guys, and I'm happy with what I just heard. And it's in the tape. You'll see it, what I'm talking about. So, you know, that person realized there was nothing to say, and so there you go. You save some time on that one. There's 3 minutes, and maybe someone else could add 30 seconds of that, not being shouted at or annoyed, shouting and everything. Yeah, there was some hostility in the room, and I guess sometimes there will be with different viewpoints, and that hostility should be controlled as far as not being rude. But I really felt it, and you'll see it when you watch it, because there was a them and us attitude going on, which is the problem with the union right now. I felt that the Charles, um, he definitely, the way he was antagonistic in some of the things he said, not a doubt, and definitely needs to tone that down. And maybe there was one or two that actually got up and very politely said it. They just said, to, you know, one guy said, well, do you think, you know, it's good attributes to have that much, you know, emotion or temper, or however you worded it, but basically saying to him, like, come on, you know, you can't be a leader if you're out of control like this. I thought that was very well done in that particular person. But there was some catcalling that went on when he was talking and trying to answer questions, which wasn't right. And that didn't seem to get stepped on too much. Someone actually I could hear swore out, and that one should have been like right away put in his place, whoever that was. And I don't care who it was. If obviously if Charles had done that, being the one almost on his own there, he certainly would have gotten berated a lot heavier, because he was getting berated for his choice of wording that people didn't like and what he was expressing. But I actually challenge all of you to, I don't know, get a little thicker skin. It's a meeting about discussing, you know, policies, not policies, directions, not directions. He's standing there and saying, well, this is, I think we need to be doing this, and like it or not, let him have his say, because that's the society we're supposed to live in. And from that, anyways, if you know, some people that have 20 or 30 thoughts, it doesn't matter if none of them work, but what if one or two of them do? What if one or two of them are original, or what if one or two of them will correct something? So, like, it really does pay for us to take people in on what they're saying, and then, you know, again, discuss it back. Maybe there's reasons. Maybe there's lots of answers to, like, well, we've tried this before, we've tried that. I heard that throughout the meetings too, which is clarity, which people want to hear, which is why people need to come to meetings, but they need to be part of the meeting, not segregated. So I'm going to keep saying that, segregated, because it feels like a segregation going on. And then there was talk there about, more womany and a diversity committee and stuff. Well, do we need a committee to teach our union that, everyone should be treated equal? Like, if we're gonna we're gonna have a correct one for diversity, we're gonna have a correct one to help, get women more confidence in doing the producing and getting better roles. All valid, all good things. How about that the union people are really union people? Or if you guys' experiment went wrong because you got the money, but you don't like the fact that now suddenly you got a little competition within your own union where some of these guys are getting work that you think you should have because you've been around longer. That's ridiculous. It's the first 15, first 16 are on voucher, and then if the people casting the show see, an 18-year-old, you're okay with that because you're not 18, and you allow that one to be voucher because they need them. Well, if the gray guy beside you, or the gray woman beside you, gets picked over you and hasn't been around as long, boo-hoo. Like, really, boo-hoo. Maybe it's because you didn't try last time you were on doing BG and somebody noticed and quietly said, that one's not really putting in the effort. Maybe some of you shot yourselves in the foot with your BG lack of effort. Your friends are only going to carry you so far because that's going to end up reflecting on their work too. So, if a wrangler preaches high and mighty about somebody, but then someone else is, assistant director, or, second AD goes, that person was horrendous on set. I work with some people that have been around 20 years and they can't remember their steps. Now, are they not capable? I'm sure they are, but they're just that not into what they're doing that they mess up and they do. It's obvious to a lot of us. We kind of smirk to ourselves when they're looking for that person that did the cross, and that person has to be kind of poked before they remember it was them. Happens. It can happen to anyone too, by the way, when we're all tired, working too much. So I thought the meeting centered around, or was controlled by a lot of the senior major full-time members, and there was a lot of backpacking for full-time members, a lot of hoo-ha about how many years, and someone was asked how many years. There was one time actually Charles even asked a question. He was just being lambasted, so he actually said himself, "What is your question?" And then the guy said, "Oh well, then I have a question for guy or girl, I can't remember." Turns and asks someone else their question. Now that wasn't stopped. So why was he being berated with accusations and no question when others weren't allowed to do that kind of stuff? So if you're going to have those strict rules, which I wish you would loosen them up, then that would have been okay in my mind. But then so would have been for that person to be asked back a question. But if you're going to go strict, then you have to go strict totally. So you got to work on being more fair about that, because it really did feel like, and maybe that's partly because you're facilitated well, but maybe because you're full union too and you couldn't help yourself. Maybe you're subconsciously, if you watch the tape, maybe you'll know what I'm talking about, because I like you and you know I like you, and we've talked lots of times on set. We get along well, so this isn't an attack on you. It would be a tough job, especially with the way that emotion was there. Very tough. So I actually think commend overall everything you did. However, I'm just saying that maybe subconsciously, even because you're full member and that you're taking the same, you were agreeing in your subconscious quickly with people that were speaking in full tongue, in full in full union tongue language. So yeah, too much backpacking of you guys, too much, this is you, this is me, we did this, we've done that, we're so this, we're so that. Like almost to from, other people's points of view. So the thing that's coming in the spring that I've been hearing about, touch on that one seriously, is that you're going to make it so that apprentices, which I hope it won't be by then, but there's not, work's going to start slowing down, so I'll probably still be an apprentice. You're going to make it so we don't get any vouchers. It's out there. Rumors out there now, guys. And I'm going to spread that around to find out if it's true. I won't be the only one, by the way, because it was spread to me. So if you guys are out to scheme as full members to make sure that nobody but yourselves get all the vouchers, as you're doing with the stand-ins this last year. So if you're continually tightening control on everything you get, how are you different from Americans? How are you different from their unions down there coming up here? How are you different from their directors wanting to use their actors? And actually, shame on you if you're doing that, because you're having this meeting trying to say, everyone, get on board, join the union, but you can't. Vote, but you can't. We're all behind each other. You guys need to be behind us, your committees and stuff, so that we can be strong when we're negotiating. And you're about to cut my livelihood off. If you make it so I can't do vouchers when I'm apprentice and I'm doing vouchers only, that means I don't work. And I don't think that's fair to any apprentices, including myself. I've done good work. I've made lots of money for the union. And, I have a good reputation for doing good work out there. And if I have to be giving up something, if there was some work I could have had, it has to go to someone else now that hasn't even been trying. Maybe doesn't even like BG, thinks they're above it, which a lot of you guys do, and I don't know why you do. I don't know why you're so down on BG. Maybe it's an old thing where it was just not recognized or appreciated. But come on, there's a lot of effort being done by BGers now. There's a lot of overnighters, which a lot of you guys don't do. So yes, I get those last minute overnighters that you cancel on. A lot of weekends too. So I give up a lot of weekends and I give up a lot of overnight shifts. And it's, I'm pending for, this is Thursday I'm doing this, I'm pending for one tomorrow night because there's a chance people are going to be canceling. And I'm hoping that I guess I'm hoping because that's how I get my work, is that, some of you guys just don't think it's worthwhile doing, you'll just let that one go because you can get enough during the week. Day ones that you like and close to town that you like because you don't drive much either. Because, that's Niagara, Squamish, Abbotsford, Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows, Langley. Almost all mine involve drives. I don't get very many downtown. I do get some, but even my downtown ones are actually North Vancouver. And I live in Steveston, so to me that's a far one. It involves a bunch of bridges. So you're going to try to cut that out, and yet you still want me to understand stuff from your point of view? No, not at all. I work hard. I do a good job. I've earned it. I probably have 500 or 600 shows under my belt now. 500 or 600. So, I'm doing about 80 to 100 a year. I'm working hard. Well, probably not quite that many because a lot of that's fitting, but, days that I'm booked. That you take $15 off me for. So you get your $1,500 off me yearly, as well as my union due for the membership for apprentice rate. So you guys do really well off me. And now you're going to just try to tell me that I can't make my X amount of dollars in a year. You're going to make sure you delegate it out to only the full members. And then you're going to wonder why people like myself will make a tape like this and put it on YouTube. Damn right, I'm going to put it on YouTube. Damn right, I'm going to tell people about it and have it spread. Don't do this. Don't box us in and box yourselves in at the same time. Be a union. Stop playing games like this. You already got so many more benefits than me already. I'm already flustered as an apprentice. I was at a union shop today. I stopped in there to see the new place. And I asked them about, they showed me a nice tour. It was great. Beautiful place, by the way. I really like it. And one of the people was, I just saw the forms for medical, dental, that kind of stuff. And they said, well, that lady's here. You should talk to her about your ID, right? And I said, well, okay. What I'd said is, that'd be nice if I could, even if I could contribute so that I could be on a plan where there's more people. And my win-win on it was, well, it should make sense because if we joined, that would increase your number, which means the full members would have more people, so they should be to get a lower rate. The more members you get into those plans, the better rate you get, so you get a better rate. And I wouldn't mind paying a little because the rate I pay through a group would be better than the individual that I'm paying now. or just going in once in a while and paying $100 under the table to get my teeth cleaned. You know, we're presenting ourselves. We should have nice teeth, right? We should be able to get them cleaned regularly. And you guys should want us to. You know, we're representing the union when we walk. Every time we walk in there and have our card and we fill out our paperwork, we're putting our union number on there. So we are your members. You can't say we're not. Stop pretending we're not your members, that we're just, well, we just have them there. No, we're members. We're human beings. Hello, look me in the eyeball. I am a human being. My name is Danny Gamble, and I've been with you guys for years, and I'm actually paying more in fees than most of your full-time members, because 2% is not equaling, especially if they don't work that much, what I'm paying for the amount of effort I'm putting in. And stop taking 15 off me for fittings. It's a ripoff. Prorate it, or just stop reaching in my pocket on that one. That'd be nice. So, you know, so I suggested that, and then the girl asked me a couple of questions about other stuff, and I started talking about this kind of things. She reminded me I wanted to do these tapes tonight, and I think it's, you know, right away she got defensive. Like I said, oh, she goes, oh, sorry, my department. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, it's just, you know, thoughts that were on my head because you asked me the questions, and bowed out of there. But I like the place, and I'll probably try to use it. So I'm not sure. Oh yeah, so back to the meeting part. Yeah, I think you need to have a huge forum. I think you do need to invite everyone, and I think everyone should be allowed to contribute. Maybe more of an open, you know, get up just a mic, and get a mic without a cord. Do you know how silly you guys looked? Here you are. You're talking about your professionals. We're professionals. We're the union for professionals, actors. And you got one cord mic that you're strangling people. Things are getting knocked off tables. Yeah, invest in a wireless one. I heard someone say, oh, we're saving money. Don't be stupid. That's a stupid thing. You're saving on a cord over a wireless, and you're creating the drama that you were. It was stupid. Get a couple actually in the room. One for the front panel, one for the back people. Wow, was not a good idea. And your cameraman, not sure if it was intentional or not, but when you watch it, you're going to get a little couple chuckles, because it seems like certain people were nicely centered in the camera. It seems like other people were cut off, where you're actually seeing more of the person to the left or right or behind them. Not sure if that was just, I don't know, checking out, but it would seem to happen quite often to similar people. And the other thing was that they couldn't seem to move left or right. So if someone was asking a question of someone, the person answering we couldn't see. And you might say, well, you could hear them. Well, yeah, you could hear them, but 80% of communication is nonverbal. So you kind of want to see when that person's answering that question, how they're expressing themselves. If they look like they're smirking through it, if they look like they're sincere, if they look like they're kind of blank, they're just trying to fake it. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see them while they're answering. I'm sure others would. So you don't have an ability for the camera to go left or right. Besides, that's our industry, so you know, make yourself shine a little. These videos are gonna go out, and you know, a lot of that was comical. I thought the lawyer part was comical too, because I mean, when you're dealing in the States, I guarantee you, they're using lawyers. Like when I sold real estate, the contract in Mexico for a U.S. contract was like this, because they insisted on having a U.S. contract, and the joke was, oh, you're doing a U.S. you hold this up, and they'd say, how much paperwork? And you go like this, and they say, oh, U.S. contract. And you go like this, and they go, oh, Canadian contract. And you go like this, and they say, oh, Mexican contract. Because theirs was like 2 pages, ours was like 7 to 10. And the Americans was like 30, 40 pages. You know, how things are worded matter. I heard something worded funny. I don't think it's going to come to me in time, but it was to do with us too, and the contract in the office there, and the one word, you know, it didn't do anything. It just left a total out. So words matter. Like, come on, guys. These are contracts. These are, you know, you're negotiating a contract. They matter. So even if you don't think, you know, lawyers are necessary, or you say, well, there's there if we think we couldn't handle it, we could fold it. I really like this person. Well, so what if you really like that person? What if that person's sick that day, or what if that person's been slipped money under the table? You know, like, no, I mean, I don't know the person. I'm not saying they would take that, but I'm just saying, like, you can't just leave yourself open with naivety to whatever could transpire, because we are talking policies that are going to have to affect everyone in your memberships. So be a little more professional than that, for God's sakes. And the other thing is, do they ever come up here to negotiate? Do we always go down? Is there always home court for them? If it is, that's wrong too. If this is a negotiation of contracts, then sometimes they should get the hotel costs and they should get the travel costs. And you should be sitting in your little comfy office, making them sit at the far end, and give them the take the home advantage, take the home court. All that stuff is strategy. I mean, that's what the whole White House was about originally, to get everyone to go down there and be impressed. I mean, that their whole policy is about business, right? And getting advantage. And they just Donald's announcing it now, America First. Doesn't believe it was American First for Obama and everyone else. It's been before him. That's the strategy of the White House, is to over intimidate people and then soften them up. And you guys really, really could use someone that understands how to not give away the farm and get things, because you really one person spoke up about how we got a great area. Actually, it might have been Charles, to be honest, actually, but it was about how we have a great place and people realize that, and we should be getting something for it. Absolutely, because it's not just the rates and all that and the talented people. That's all good too. I mean, that's wonderful, but there's also the scenery. We have the ability to look like any place in the world in a very short area. We got the valley, we got the islands, we got the lakes, we got the ocean, we got the mountains, we got like we can look like anywhere, and you can't get that in LA. You can't get that. I don't think you get that much in Toronto, especially in winter, because it's just going to be snow and ice above. They're going to have to do everything green screen in studios. So I guess we have the weather too, right? So yes, people say, "Well, we get rain." Yes, we do. Absolutely, that is our one of our downfalls. But that rain also gives us all the water and the greenery and the forests, and like it's a gem here. That's why everyone's moving here. That's why skyrocketing house prices since the 60s and 70s. Things have gone so much, everyone's millionaires that we were smart enough to have properties when they're younger and hold on to them. We can start charging for that, which means that we could be. We don't even have to follow LA. We're following LA only because we believe it has to be LA because of their population and stuff. But this is digital, right? These shows can be anywhere in the world and pretend to be. I mean, for years, well, for the first couple of years, Lucifer was based out of LA, but we all know it was shot here. And we'll see how they do down there, if it's better or not. But it may or may not be, actually. They may be back. Yeah, so I actually totally agree that we don't have to not only trade off, we don't need to trade off at all. We need to get it back to a reasonable amount. And there will be resistance at first, but that's only because they'll figure we can back down again, and they won't know where it's coming from, and they're used to getting their way. But we got a lot to offer, and yeah, and then people were talking about the striking and stuff. I don't know about that either. I don't want to go that route too fast, because it's amazing how much you can negotiate first, and sometimes that's smarter, because the minute you're shut down, you've got all kinds of risks of them reestablishing shows elsewhere and stuff, that then you may not get them back, and so that and that can hurt huge amounts of people. And just being down for a month or two is a huge amount of dollars to everyone, paying bills and mortgages and stuff. So we wouldn't even. I did not even bring that up. That's it's like bringing up the nuclear bomb. Sometimes there's things you just don't want to talk about. Okay, I went a lot further than I thought, and a lot longer, and I thought I would. So I look forward to having a real union one day, or I don't know. We'll see what comes. Take care. Danny Gamble signing off. Bye.